This right here is a 2013 Polaris Sportsman 500 and she needs some help. I got it for a great price. I only paid $500 for this thing, but it doesn't run. So, turning it over, I don't have a battery in it now, but when I received this thing, it's been a little while now, but when I first got it, I put a battery in it, and it just whirled right over. I sprayed gas on the carburetor, it wouldn't start up, it didn't even try, and it just sounds like it has weak compression. So, we're going to check that right now and see where she's at. You can see I already tore the fenders and stuff off of this. It was partially torn down. Oh, the plug's loose, so I'm guessing they had already checked this. The owner thought it was low compression, needed a rebuild, so I'm guessing he was probably right, but you never know until you test it yourself. Reach in there, grab the plug, brand new plug. Go ahead and put a compression tester in there. This thing does not have a recoil on it, so we got to put a battery in. This is not the right battery. It's a little too wide and the terminals are on the wrong side, but we'll make it work just to test it out anyways. So the compression reading is a little strange on these because the auto decompressor, these don't actually have a lot of compression. They won't show a lot of compression anyways because of that auto decompressor. But it should be between 60 and 90 PSI if everything's working right. So let's go ahead and check it out here. Get the ignition on. Throttle wide open. And we're showing 30. So that's very low even with the auto decompressor. So we obviously have low compression. We have something wrong in the engine. First thing I'm going to do is pop this head cover off and check the valves and the camshaft and all that good stuff. Go ahead and pop this cover off. We'll also pop this cover off. So the intake and the exhaust should be 6/1000ths of an inch. I can't even get 6/1000ths in on that side. I know I can on this side because this feels tighter. Check the exhaust. Boy, wouldn't that be nice if it was just a valve clearance issue? I was doubting it, but these feel a little loose. Loosen those all up, and we'll get them all within spec, 6 thou. Then we'll tighten them up, and we'll recheck. Went ahead and got these all at 6/1000ths now, tightened up. I'm going to throw the compression gauge back in here and recheck. Boy, that would be nice. I am not holding my breath though, because I really think this thing needed a rebuild, but you never know. Turn her back over, full throttle. Might have went up a little bit, but it's still around 30 PSI, so we got some issues. I don't know the backstory on this thing at all, but if I was to guess, I'd say she probably sucked in some dust and destroyed the top end, as this is all chewed up. The filter is just kind of missing. It's got a little foam filter on there, but it's supposed to have an insert. That's what stunk. There is lots of flies, a dead snake. That makes sense. Whew. Get that off there and get it cleaned up. Whew. Let's see, we're gonna need a new intake boot here, or air box boot. Looks like we're missing one exhaust spring already, so we just need one there. And the ones in the back aren't on there. Go ahead and drain the coolant out. Crack this and then she'll start coming. There we go. Let that drain, start doing some other stuff. Engine mount. Pop that out of there. Gonna pop off the timing chain tensioner here. So I loosen up the center bolt first, because this is spring loaded. And then we can remove this. I'm gonna remove the little 8mm bolts for the cylinder head. I'll come in here, loosen up the cylinder head bolts. And 4. So now we're going to remove the cam sprocket here. 1, 2, and 3. And pull that out. Take the chain off. Slide that out. And we'll just slide the cylinder head out of here. Oh, our chain's caught. Slide that down. Let's see what's going on. I can see what's going on right now. Definitely got some wear in there. Two more 8s on the lower side of the cylinder. Now we got the 4 main cylinder bolts down inside here. Move the timing chain guide, crack the cylinder open. Open her up here, come on. Oh yeah, she's scared up bad. That's exactly what it was. Look at that side of that piston. She is scored up. This side, the exhaust side, not as bad. Intake side, all scored up. So the intake was sucking so much dust, it just destroyed the cylinder. Well, it destroyed the piston and the cylinder. Hopefully the crank's okay. And if we come over to the cylinder here, you can check her out. She's pretty rough. Pop this piston out of here and hope that the crank's okay. It feels good right there, but you never know. Alright. Whew, yeah, that's rough. Alright, got the old gasket all cleaned off. Got our new top end set in here, so it's time to rebuild this thing. First thing, base gasket, new base gasket. We'll get our new piston and pin, and these two little dots on these, when you install them on these Polaris Sportsman 500s, they face towards the magneto side. Get that in there. The connecting rod is in very good shape on this thing, so we're lucky there. Alright, I pre-installed the C-clip on this side already, and we'll just install this one. There we go. We get a fresh cylinder in there. We get our rings facing the right way, and as long as they don't move, we'll be good to go. Drop this down on. Once we get those rings up past the bottom of the cylinder, then we can just slide her down on there. Nice. What I like to do first is throw these small bolts in the cylinder, and then we'll torque down. We'll get these started, and then we'll torque down the big bolts. Now we'll drop these down here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Torque her down. And then we'll torque down these little ones. These don't take much. This cylinder head is in very good shape. I just went ahead and did pull the valves out, lapped them, so they're nice clean surface now. Got to throw some new valve seals in there, we'll be good to go. Alright, going to put our dowel pins in. And then our head gasket. The time and chain guide. Roll just like that. Throw our cylinder head on. Cylinder head bolts. We'll just get these wound in there so I don't have to do it by hand. So now we want to make sure we're timed properly, straight up and down. And then if we come in here, we'll remove that cover, and there should be the T right there. You can pretty much see it. Also, you can check to make sure your piston's at top dead center here. Put some Loctite on the cam bolts. We'll get those tightened up. Alright, timing chain tensioner, new gasket. I'm going to remove the end of this with the spring. Then what we got to do is we got to hold this back and push that in, and then it's reset. Now we can install the tensioner. Tighten those two bolts up, and then we can get that spring back in there. Alright, once we get the timing chain tightened down, all this stuff, I did set the valve clearance to 6 thousandths again because it had everything apart, so it did move a little bit. Well, I think we're good to put the new gasket on here, and then the head cover. Alright, go ahead and throw the plug in. Gotta hook our oil lines back up over here. New filter. Might as well hook the coolant hose up while we're right here. Temp sensor. New gasket. Now we can throw the side cover on. throw our gasket on the exhaust. Get our coolant hose on to the cylinder. Go ahead and get some coolant in here. Get some oil in here. Let's go ahead and get this fuel tank in here. See if she'll fire up. So I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to bleed the oil. We just pinch the line off here for a few seconds, and then we'll let it go. Oop. There she goes. Running. Sounds pretty good. We're going to get an air box and stuff on here first. I just want to make sure she was going to fire up. Never fails. I always cut myself at least once per repair job. So the rear rack's all busted up. Really should replace it, but I'm just going to stitch it together for now. We'll see what I'm going to do in the future here. You can see what I unbolted this already. You can see what color this thing should have been. Should have been this nice mossy oak camo color, Polaris Pursuit, but it faded wicked bad. Flip that over. Flip that over. Put this together. Got this. We're going to use these little staples here. Just put these staples in here. Turn the button on. This is going to heat it up. You can see it's already getting super red and it's turning colors. Now we got to put it in there. Gonna let it go to cool it back down. So we'll start over here. I get this closed up pretty well. Now we're gonna melt that into the plastic. Obviously you don't want to go too far, otherwise you'll go right through. I'll pull it back out. I'm holding this here because if I don't, it's just gonna drop. Grab another staple. This thing's obviously going to be hot now because I just had it running. It does cool down fairly quick, but you got to get quite a few of these in there before you can start moving it around, and it will actually be. Stuff does stink. Pull it out. Just going to put some here and there, and then I'll go back through and I'll put a bunch in. Now, if I was fixing this permanently, I would have done a lot better, but we're missing chunks here and there. The bolt downs, like, everything's missing. Just doing this to kind of keep it together for now. Yeah, like this plastic stuff is just all broken out of it. Alright, well, she's out here. It's definitely not 100%, but it's not horrible, I guess. You know, the rack is pieced together. It really needs a new rear rack. Definitely needs a seat cover. Even the cushion's a little worn out, but probably salvage that still. The wrap is just horrible on this thing. I don't know, it really needs to be re-wrapped. Yeah, and then this front is just zip tied together. The latch is broke here. The pins are broke up front. So yeah, oh yeah, she's also missing this plastic piece here. So I don't know about that, but I mean, she runs. She runs. And it runs pretty well. Gonna throw some fuel in it and we'll take her for a little test ride. We'll get her filled up here in a second. We'll be on our way. No, that's not diesel. Ready to try her out? Hop on here. We'll start her up right on the ignition. I know I already had it running, but so we got our maintenance light on. I got to reset that, but 345 hours, 2,200 miles. Not bad at all. I don't know anything about this machine, so we're gonna find out how it goes. Does the full drive work? I don't know anything, so just rebuilt that engine and that's it, the top end. And now, so I wasn't really planning on doing a video on this. The plan for this was just to get it going, get it sold, and give me a little extra cash, but I kind of decided last minute, might as well put a video out. That's why some of the footage probably wasn't the best, but it's something. So anyways, what I'm debating now is, should I sell? The plan was to fix it up just enough to run, you know, rebuild the top end and sell it as is, make a little bit of money, hopefully get a little money in my pocket. The problem is I don't know if I should sell it as is or go right through it, but I know that front rack, the storage box lid, and the rear rack probably cost me like 500 bucks new. If I'd buy it used, it'd be a little cheaper. I gotta buy this piece. This is crazy money new, but I can buy it used for like 60 bucks. And then we got, I don't know, I mean, just a full maintenance on this thing. Front differential fluid, rear, or the gear case. We have excellent engine brake, and I don't know, I'm going to think about it. We're going to see how it goes, see if everything works on it. Yes, this does have really good engine braking, so that's a plus. Got to make sure the all-wheel drive works on it. We'll do that further up on the video. These Polarises always ride super smooth. I don't care which Sportsman you're on, they ride nice. Now this, I said, is a 13, 14, one or the other. It's one of the last years that they made these things, and then they went to the 570. You could buy the 570 or you could buy the 850. You might have been able to buy the 550 as well, but the 550 and the 850 were on a completely different chassis. Those were XP chassis, more premium version. This is the value chassis, they call it, when they went to the newer stuff. Wider, like the 550 and the 850 and the 1000. The chassis is way different. They're super narrow right here. It reminds you of riding a motocross bike or something. Very comfortable, very easy to get around on. You have super wide floorboards. This is considered the value machine now. This is basically the same chassis, even the same fenders as the 570 now. I know they changed a little bit of stuff, but basically overall that's what it is. So yeah, it's a nice machine, but if you want the high-end package, obviously the XP is where it's at. I don't even know if they call them XPs anymore. I think they do, but they went to SPs for the 570. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you could get a higher version of the 570. Either way, if you want a 500, this is probably the 500 to get, because all the updates have been done throughout the years. They started way back in 96, I think it was 1996. I had one not long ago, well, a few years ago. Thing was beautiful, way better shape than this one. And it was you know, a 96. But it all depends on how you use them, how you take care of them. The engines have stayed pretty much the same throughout the years. Now they make a newer 500 in the Rangers, and the engines are completely different than this. They're a ProStar engine. These are Fuji engines, completely different, but decent power out of these 500s. I always enjoyed them. I mean, they're not a sporty feeling engine, but they have enough power to do what you want to do. Here's where I should be able to try out the four-wheel drive and the low range and all that stuff. We're in high. We'll throw her in low, and I'll try it up two-wheel drive first to make sure we're spinning, and then I'll put it in four-wheel drive, or all-wheel drive, I should say. This has an all-wheel drive system, so you don't have a... Yeah, we're not spinning up front, we're spinning in the back. All-wheel drive right there. Uh-oh. Oh yeah, it is grabbing. Okay, it took a minute though. Probably needs to be the differential fluid up front probably needs to be serviced, because it did take a minute for that to kick in. We'll make sure it kicks out good. But yeah, you can tell she's spinning now. She wants to climb, but I'm stuck on this rock. So I kind of want to try that again, see how, because this thing's been sitting for a while. I've had this for probably a year. We're going to put it in two-wheel drive, make sure it comes out. Definitely out, I can feel it, but we'll do some spinning to make sure, as you can see. Two-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, see how long it takes to kick in. Okay, it kicked in real quick, so could have been from sitting. I probably should service that front fluid anyways. If I sell this thing even as is, probably go through all the fluids minimum. But that's good. She kicks in, kicks out. Those front differentials on these, or gear cases, whatever you want to call them, they get expensive, and I mean, you can rebuild them fairly cheap. Not cheap, but not super expensive. But if you was to buy that whole gear case, you're talking big money. But that's good. It kicks in and out. That's what I wanted to see. I think all the bearings and stuff feel tight on this thing. I know as far as tie rod ends, it feels like a tight machine. Oh yeah, wheelie in it. Oh, this thing's so smooth. I think the last machine I drove up here was the Foreman 450, and it was just, I mean, it's a fun ride, but it's rough. It's a lumber wagon. It's a lumber wagon. But this one though, we got a true all-wheel drive system, and we got more ground clearance than that Foreman, so we got a better chance of going over the stones here. So like this, I didn't even want to try it with the Foreman. This, you can go right over, and you ain't have to worry about running it or running into it. Same thing with that. That looks like a stump though, but would have definitely hit with the Foreman. I don't know. It seems like the Polaris Sportsmans, you're either a big fan or you hate them. It doesn't seem like there's an in-between. And myself, I'm a fan. I like them. but I like everything. I don't like just these Polarises. I think they serve their purpose. We're gonna try right over here. We usually try over there. We got some major rocks right there that we always hit. We do here too, but not as bad. So let's see. I hit bottom, but it's crawling right through. That all-wheel drive system is great because it's like a Honda. Now no Hondas have an actual front locker. So yeah, so that's definitely nice on this. You get one wheel off the ground on the front, it's still gonna spin. This, like, if this is off the ground, this wheel's still spinning. On a Honda, you get it off the ground and the only wheel that's going to be spinning is over here on the front, and it's a pain. They really should put a locker on some of their Hondas. I don't know why they don't. Maybe the brand new ones they do, but none of the Hondas that I've seen have them. Yamaha has them, Kawasaki, all that. Kawasaki has kind of a neat one because you can control how much pressure you get on the front with their lever system. It's kind of neat. It would be nice though if you could like lock it in and keep it locked in on the Kawasaki, but you can't. So we're gonna see. I got it back in tool drive. Just want to take it in and out, make sure everything's working good, and it is. I can feel it spinning right now. We're gonna run it in low range. I'll show you how usable the low range is on these 500s, or how unusable. It feels pretty decent. Honestly, I haven't drove a 500 in a little while. So the last one I just drove was similar to this, but it was an 800. I just repaired on the channel. See, the 800 has way more power, but I don't know, the clutching in these is smoother. Everything's smoother. Maybe, I don't know. I've always been a partial fan of the 500 versus the twins, unless you're talking the 850 and the 1000. But don't get me wrong, I like the other twins. But if you're looking for like reliability, just hop on and go, these 500s seem to be a little better. Now this thing, like I said, does have engine braking, so I'm not touching the brakes at all, and we're slowing down to a snail's pace. Really slow, and we're on high range. You go in low range, you go even slower. Now that's not all the 500s. Some of the 500s do not have the EBS, the engine braking system. But one downfall to the Polaris engine braking system, and it's mainly to do with the all-wheel drive up front, is say you're on a slippery slope in mud or something, you're going down a hill and you're using the engine braking like right now, these tires would be locking up in the back and the front ones would be free spinning, so it kind of sends you kind of down the hill all squirrely. Now what you can do is you can put it in all-wheel drive and you can give it a little throttle to help out, but that kind of defeats the purpose of the engine braking system. So that's one downfall. Now they do, on the premium versions, you do have a active descent control, and that'll lock up the front for engine braking. So that's nice, but it's not standard on all their all-wheel drive models. So she's running good. Brakes perfect on the machine. You know, it's not bad. Somebody could probably use that for a long time the way it is. I mean, it's mainly cosmetics. It really is. I don't have the winch hooked up. I don't have the right battery in it, but I will get the right battery put in there before I sell it for sure. It's just a matter of, do I want to dump that money into it? This thing's worth pretty decent money if it was fixed up. But you got to get rid of this crappy camo. You got to get new racks on it. The tires aren't bad. They hold air. They're actually really not bad. The tread's not bad. If you look in the machine, I know it's been sitting, so the outside looks old and stuff, But if you look in here, it's actually a very clean machine. So, I don't know. She's got a new top end now. Let's try her out here. Hearing a little noise right there. It's like a squealing. I don't know if it's the brakes or what. Probably just because I said the brakes are good. It didn't seem to go away when I hit the brakes. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. I don't hear it now. Alright, we're gonna try to sneak over this without following through. So I did a break-in on the engine off camera. Just I'm trying to get stuff done quick lately. So if you see me beating on it, you're like, oh, he's already taking it up in the woods without even breaking it in. Well, I did a pre-break-in. I run it for a couple of minutes. I drain the fluid, refill it, and then we head back on there. And then we have the break-in oil. It's still, yeah, something's squealing. I don't like it. I only really noticed it when you get up into speed, like 25 miles an hour. Clutching, possibly. Clutch is on this side. It kind of sounds like this side, but we'll just take a peek around it, make sure we don't have anything stuck in the axles. Axles are in good shape. That guard is not in good shape, but yeah, the boots are all good. A little grass in there, but no sticks. Same thing here. Oh, we do have a broken boot right there, so probably should replace the axle. Should have one of these on hand for the 500s. Should. That's too bad, but oh well. Hard to tell with the noise with the helmet on, so yeah, good takeoff, low range, really good. We do a little more spinning though, so these things you can, if you wanted to pull a wheelie, you can certainly. Oh, what happened? It was running good. I didn't hit a switch. I literally pulled a wheelie and it shut down. Oh boy, what did I do? Everything, it's like it lost a connection because the speedometer, it just like killed power. My battery's still right there. The terminals. The terminal broke off. Right? Yeah, it did. Right here. Okay. Well, at least we know, but I don't have any tools on me. There's a little toolkit in here. Yeah. I didn't put this terminal on there. It looks like somebody crimped it, but they didn't crimp it good. There's nothing in here. I'll just shove it in. And we might get back. Alright. So no wheelies. So you don't know though. You just never know. If I would have went to sell it, first time somebody hit a good bump, wouldn't have run. Would have died. Would have been back here, and Hey, what's going on with my four-wheeler I just bought from you? Oh yes, I forgot about that. I did order a new carb, well, the airbox intake boot, because the other one was trash. I found one that was a little better, but it still had some cracking in it, so I taped it for now. So that'll be new before I sell it for sure. I'm not gonna sell it with that, because a bad intake will ruin the top end pretty quick if you're riding in dusty conditions. I gotta do the seat cover too. I can't let it go like that. Oh boy. We're just not making a good connection or what? This is why you try them out before you head. I don't know what happened. Maybe it hit the ground and I don't see. Oh. So I fixed that connection, and then, is that a good sign? Got a fuse in there. I fixed that connection, but what I did was I put the winch. I didn't have the winch hooked up on this thing yet, because I was just making sure she'd run, and I hooked the winch cable up and not the positive wire to the solenoid. So that's why we're not getting any power. Ugh, I feel dumb. It is what it is. Alright, let's get you back up in there. Get back here. There we go. Get her tightened down, and hopefully it'll make it back to the house. And then I gotta put a new end on there, crimp it down. There we go. Yeah, this stuff, I don't have everything on here yet. She's just ready for a test drive. There we go. All right. So, glad I did the wheelie, because, like I said, it went that whole ride, and it never moved until we did that, and then it popped off. So, okay, let's go. We're gonna do. I'll show you the power of this thing. Hopefully it stays on. I'm not gonna pull it back in a wheelie, but we'll go ahead. We're in high range, full throttle. Okay, we're gonna ease her back, because obviously that wire connector is not holding. There we go. And I guess we'll just ease her on up through. Slowly gain a little speed. As you can see, it picks up pretty good. I mean, these things will do 60 miles an hour if you have enough runway, which is good for a 500. And then we'll come on down here, yeah, and there we go again. We're gonna get home. We're not doing a top speed run, obviously, right now. I think that'll hold this time. We don't have very far to go, so. Alright. Full throttle right there. At least get her to 50. Oh yeah, there we go. So yeah, as I said, she picks up speed pretty good. It's pretty decent for a 500. And we made it home. And we're still connected. Perfect. Alright, still got a little work to do. It's just a matter of how much work I'm going to do to this thing before it gets sold. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll catch you on the next repair.